we've been covering this sport for a long time, and it's a lot of this. Rarely is there moments where you really become a fan again, but Dustin Poirier, I don't know how you don't love this guy. I mean, he's just one of the greatest examples and representatives and ambassadors of the sport the sport still has, because so much trash talk, self-promotion now. He's one of the best examples. Just a legendary career. His comeback in that fight, which seemed like it was going to go the wrong way from that first round, legitimately had me get up out of my seat screaming and cheering when he won the fight. It was just that kind of awesome kind of moment to watch. But that said, I mean, for all the talk of his great fights he's been in, the finishes, this guy has an unbelievable record. I wanted to pose a question. Is Dustin Poirier among the top 3 greatest lightweights of all time? We're going to quickly run down his resume. He has wins over Michael Chandler, McGregor twice, Max Holloway at 155, Eddie Alvarez, Gaethje, Pettis, Jim Miller, Bobby Green. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are former champions or interim champions. Now, his losses in his career are to Korean Zombie, Cub Swanson, and McGregor. Those are all featherweight, so they really don't count for this. And his only losses at lightweight is a weird one to Michael Johnson. I don't know how he lost to Michael Johnson. He lost to Khabib, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje in a rematch. And a rematch, their first fight was one of the greatest lightweight fights ever seen. Anthony, is he top 3? Is he top 5? Like, the only people I was thinking that can maybe be put in front of him is BJ Penn, Khabib, Charles Oliveira, maybe Islam, and maybe Frankie Edgar. Where do you place him? Is he top 3? Is he top 5? Is he not top 5 at all?
Man, I so wished I did a better look at the outline so I'd have a better answer prepared for you, because this is really, it's one of those things I never really thought about until you just said, right? He certainly belongs in that conversation. I don't know if I'm comfortable right now just saying, okay, top 3 all time. Now, top 3 in the UFC, maybe, I guess. But overall, I don't know, man. I got to put BJ Penn above him, right? Just because of how ridiculous his title reign was.
He's a pound-for-pound guy.
Yeah, I mean, but if we're just talking about lightweight, does the pound-for-pound thing even come into play? See,
well, I mean, like, he was so good at that division, so dominant. He was considered one of the best in the world. Not even just one of the best at lightweight.
Yeah, that's true. He's certainly better than McGregor at lightweight. McGregor's lightweight career is just the Eddie Alvarez fight, and that's it. He does have a win over Alvarez, but I think Alvarez probably should be ranked above him simply because he's had a title. He's had an undisputed title. He had titles in other organizations. Right. Eddie Alvarez is. Off the top of my head, I probably would put him above Dustin overall. I think Ben Henderson needs to be brought up in this conversation. Ben Henderson had a fantastic lightweight title.
Also, I would say about Ben is Ben got a lot of lucky scorecards. There was some fights that could have went out different ways, and they went for him, especially those Frankie fights. I can't put a guy that barely won some fights over at Dustin Poirier.
He had close fights. He had close fights against some of the best in the world. I mean, you can't really fault someone for that.
Yeah, but Dustin beat some of the best in the world. He didn't just close fight; he beat him.
But Dustin, at no point in time was Dustin Poirier the best lightweight in the world. He's never been the best lightweight. He's been one of the best. No. But I think if we're talking about the all-time best, you've got to be top 3 all-time best in one of the most talent-rich divisions in the history of mixed martial arts. You have to at one point been the best lightweight in the world.
It's a tough one because then you're putting Chuck Liddell in the light heavyweight conversation, and without a doubt, he's a legend. But is he one of the best lightweights because he was good at a time? You know, he was. If not, he was certainly the best light heavyweight in the UFC for a while. He certainly was. And the only reason why there's a debate on whether he was the best overall period is because Pride was running and Vanderlei Silva was doing what he was doing. That's and then you put them head to head and Chuck won. Granted they were a little past their primes, but I think, man, that's. God damn it, I wish I actually looked at that outline a little more thoroughly so I'd have more preparation in what I'm going to say. Fail to prepare to fail. Come on.
Hey, the outline got to me, 5 minutes before you hit record, so I wouldn't have much time anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah, Dustin, if I'm generous, I say top 5. Generously top 5, certainly top 10, but at no point was he the best lightweight in the world, so I can't put him top 3 all time in the division.
Yeah, I have a tough time putting him top 3. I got to put him top 5 though. I love Frankie Edgar, but I would put him above Frankie Edgar. As good as Frankie Edgar was, I think Frankie Edgar, without that, you can't take anything away from the fact that he ended the BJ Penn reign. But the division outside of BJ wasn't super strong and stuff like that. It was Gray Maynard, but we all look back and now at Gray Maynard in a very different way. I think what Dustin is able to do in an era where lightweight very much is as Shark Tank as it's ever been. And he's gotten wins over some of the elites, like some of the biggest stars, like as good as BJ Penn, Frankie Edgar beating BJ Penn in one of those first events in Saudi, like Dustin blasting through Conor McGregor, the biggest star in the sport, twice is just a whole nother level. And what he was able to do to beat Justin Gaethje, one of the greatest fights. His fight with Dan Hooker, didn't even mention that. Dan Hooker was another absolute classic that he won. He's in classic fights, classic wins. The only people that beat him other than Michael Johnson are like the elites of the elites. So yeah, I got to go top 5. But moving on. We're going to talk more legends, but please, of course, wherever you're listening to this, wherever you watch this, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the Ringside Intel channel, wherever you listen for the Ringside Intel content. Comment, let us know what do you think about these debates.